Hey everyone.
Hello.
I'm Ella, and if you're new to my channel, I'm a first-year student at Parsons School of Design in New York City. And today I'm here with my friend Stefan.
Hello, I'm Stefan, and I go to Rhode Island School of Design.
And you're a first-year student?
As well.
And what are you studying?
And I'm planning on going into graphic design.
Cool. So for today's video, we are going to be comparing the two schools in the hopes that if you are stuck between both, this might help you decide which you're a better fit for. And we're actually going to cut it in half, so half of the topics we cover will be on my channel, and the other half...
And the other half, we're here?
Yeah, will be on Stefan's channel. The first thing that we're going to talk about in my video is the admissions process. And I know both of the schools are on the Common App and then use Slideroom for a portfolio submission. I applied to RISD through Common App, and then I just never sent my portfolio in Slideroom because I'm from Boston, and so I just didn't want to be that close to home. So I was like, yeah, well, I applied. I guess I'm just not gonna finish my application. But for Parsons, I know the one thing that kind of sets them apart is that they have what they call the Parsons Challenge. And my year during my application, the prompt was just to create something based off of what was already in your portfolio. And then you had to write a write-up about it. And so I chose a photo from my portfolio that you can see in my accepted art student portfolio. And it's like a self-portrait in the shower that's like my face. And what I did for my Parsons Challenge was I created a garment out of clear vinyl and then photographed myself wearing the garment in the shower because it was all about vulnerability. I'll have all the photos on the screen. For the writing portion, I just kind of wrote a simple artist statement talking about my concept and then how I executed the concept and then how I felt about it. I think that's pretty much what I always do when I write an artist statement. And yeah, for Parsons, I'd recommend, well, for any art school you apply to, I'd recommend writing like a thorough artist statement for each piece that you put into Slideroom, just so that the admissions people kind of know your process and like look at you as more of like a professional artist and not just like some kid doing high school projects. Yeah. What about for RISD?
Yeah, I also applied to Parsons and I was kind of like, yeah, that's kind of what I went through with that. And then for RISD, the difference was basically very similar. You had to submit 2 other pieces, but you just didn't have to have it be based off of a previous piece in your portfolio. And so you had to choose one of 3 words. The one that I did was deconstruct, and then they also had to contain and light. And so you have to choose one of those 3 words. I'm pretty sure that this year they changed the words. But the bicycle challenge, to anyone who's familiar with that, is kind of no longer existent. They moved on from that. And yeah, so you have to choose one of those 3 words and make 2 pieces based off of that. For one of the pieces that I made, both of mine were honestly really shitty, but I just backed it up with a pretty good background, a good understanding of just very conceptual. So I guess I'll also put the pieces on the screen. One, you deconstructed the actual material that a garment was made out of, so I chose cotton since that's kind of readily available, and pieced them together with chainmail. For the other, I plan to do a lot more with it. Since my word was to deconstruct, I was hey, it's deconstructed anyways.
I'll have both of our art portfolio videos linked down below in case you're still in the application process and need inspiration or anything. So the next topic we're going to cover is housing and food. And
the most important part.
Yeah, this is a really important thing when it comes to college. It's most people's first time living away from home. And so at Parsons, you have basically 4 options for freshman housing. You can live in the Sty dorms, which are the main freshman dorms, Loeb Hall, Carey Hall, and 13th Street. And basically all of the housing options for first-year students are a 20-minute walking distance from class. except Carey Hall, that's like basically on top of the main building, but that's a really hard dorm to get for freshmen. I live in the main freshman building called Stuyvesant or Sty Park, and I honestly love it so much. It's this huge building that houses like 700 students. It's a 15-minute walk to class. If you walk quickly, you can probably do it in like 11 minutes. It's located on 15th Street between 1st and 2nd Avenue, so it's really conveniently located. There's a lot of food around. You're living in like the heart of New York City, which is amazing. And you're living with like all of the freshmen, which is cool. Some downsides of living on campus at the new school or in New York City in general is that you're gonna bump into a lot of mice and rats.
You were in your dorm like a few days ago and there was just a mouse that just like bolted across the room.
Yeah, it was terrifying. So all of the housing for first year students except for at the 13th Street Residence Hall is apartment style. So you have, you know, a common living space with a kitchen and bathroom, as well as 2 to 3 bedrooms for each suite. And the amenities are pretty nice. I have a bathtub. At the Loeb Hall dorms, they don't have a bathtub, but they have an oven. And then at Carey Hall, they don't have a bathtub or oven, but they're just like a lot prettier. And then there's 13th Street that you have communal bathrooms and no kitchens. But you do have a cleaning company to come and clean your bathroom every day, so that's a plus. Food-wise at Parsons, it's pretty good. You basically get a campus card called a new card, and you can use that at the dining hall. We only have one dining hall, so it gets really crowded sometimes. And all the food is made to order, so it takes kind of long, but it's all like gourmet, really nice, bougie food.
Of course, bougie.
Yeah, it's like the bougiest school I know. And we have like a sushi bar, a pizza bar, a smoothie bar, salad bar, sandwiches, like a grill. We have a lot of stuff.
Their food is really good, I'll give them that.
How about RISD for housing and food?
For first year, there's 4 main places to live in the quad. It's all the same building. But so we have both like traditional style dorms and then also apartment style. So Nickerson, which is where I live, and Homer are like traditional style dorms where, you know, you like share with someone and then the bathroom is like outside and it's like a communal bathroom. And then South and East, South and East are apartment style, so like you have your own bathroom. It's a lot nicer. It's a little bigger, but it's honestly just chosen at random, so you don't really have a choice like where you want to live. And then there's also the Hill Houses, which are not actually in the quad, they're across the street. And those are also really nice, and you get your own bathroom, but again, you don't choose where you want to live. In terms of food, the main place to eat is at the Met, which is inside the quad, which is really convenient if, you know, it's like snowing or raining and you don't actually want to go outside. If you're in the quad, you can just literally like go to the Met without even going outside.
And the food there is really good in my opinion. They have chicken fingers, so we don't have that at Parsons.
I'm honestly shocked that you guys don't. It's one of the main like foods.
And they have vegan options.
Honestly, we have so much vegan food. I'm not vegan, I don't want to be vegan, but sorry. But I feel like I'm just being vegan just by going to RISD, which I guess is a plus for a lot of people. And we have a lot of food. You can order basically whatever you want on this like big list of foods. We are open till 2 in the morning during the week, which is really nice, and have pizza 24/7. And yeah.
Going back to Parsons stuff, basically you choose where you want to live between the 4 resident options, or you can live off campus, which a lot of students do after first year. And depending on which one you pick, it has a different cost, which is really frustrating. So a lot of like the more wealthy students end up paying extra to live at like Carey Hall because it's nicer. And also going back to the food, we don't have very many vegan options. My friend Tina is like a devout vegan, and she always gets really frustrated because there's never anything for her to eat at the University Center cafeteria. But our new cards come with like $250 worth of new card cash on them each semester, which you can also refill if you run out. And new card cash is accepted at like different restaurants around the area. So they take it at like Umami Burger, Sandwichery, Roast Kitchen, Valent and Cook, Who Kitchen, like everywhere. And next year I think I'm gonna like ask if I can just get all of my dining dollars put into new card cash so I can just like eat at bougie restaurants every day.
Going back to RISD, we also have like meal swipes, so you get unlimited meal swipes at the Met. You can go as many times as you want, whenever you want, which is really nice, honestly, if you just want to like get a snack, a banana or something. And then at Portfolio, you get one free like meal swipe a day, but then you can also use points, and I think you also get 250 at RISD to either use at Car House, which is our main like coffee shop, or Portfolio, or we have this other place where you can get a meal swipe. I forgot what it's called, but it's Roger Williams. So if you go a little walks down, you can also eat there.
Once again, going back to Parsons, the dining dollars work on like an actual money basis. So you start with 1,000 dining dollars for the semester minimum, like 1,000 dining dollars and $250 new card cash. And everything in the cafeteria is like priced. So it's basically just like grocery shopping. You like pick up all the things you want and then you bring it and then you pay for it and then it deducts your money from your balance. I know a lot of people who ran out already like a month and a half before the semester was even over. But I still have plenty of money left. I think it just depends on what you're getting or like how much food you're getting. One quick thing that we wanted to talk about was like the attendance policies at each school, because a lot of kids at art school have like really kind of wild schedules where they're traveling or they're working or they're on assignment, and they can't always be attending class because, you know, we're doing big things with our lives, you know? And I know that there's a big difference between each school when it comes to this. So for Parsons, it all depends on like how often your class meets per week. So if your class meets once a week for the entire semester, you can only really get away with missing one of those classes before it really starts to hurt your grades. But if your class meets twice a week, you can miss it 2 times in the semester and be okay. And if you have like a doctor's note or something, like you're good to go. Yeah. But yeah, don't skip class, guys. Like you're paying way too much money. Literally, the way that I think about it is like each class that I'm taking costs like $250 to $500 per class, depending on how much we're meeting per week. And so if you skip a class, it's basically just like throwing $200 or $500 away. And don't do that, because that's stupid.
RISD is honestly so much more strict. During orientation, they were like, oh, by the way, don't get sick. You are not allowed to get sick because you can't miss class. So don't get sick if you go to RISD. They're super strict on attendance. You're technically allowed to miss one class, but that's just kind of a warning to not miss again. If you miss more than one class, you're kicked out of the class and you have to retake it.
That's so scary.
I know multiple people who like just got really sick, and so they had to miss more than one class even though they did all the homework and everything, and they got kicked out, and so they have to retake it. So all that money is basically gone down the drain and you have to retake it over the summer.
That's
so even if you're sick, if you're like ready to like die, you still have to go to class.
Both of our schools are like pretty small. Like class size is usually between like 16 and like 25 students. And so it's not like a big like university or state school where you're gonna be in a 400-person lecture and you can get away with skipping it. Like teachers really do notice if you're not in class, and they'll like email you and be like, yo, where the hell are you? Like you're gonna fail. So.
And they really like get really pissed off. That's like their number one pet peeve. Like if you miss class, it basically just shows that you don't really care. And you have to be there for critique, so don't skip.
Yeah, don't skip. The last thing we're going to address in my video before going on to Stefan's is the like kind of daily schedule of a first year student. So at Parsons, we have to take 5 classes each semester, and you take Integrative Studio and Seminar 1 and 2, depending on which semester it is. So I'm in semester 1 and I'm in Integrative Studio and Seminar 1. And that's a class that you take with the same students for each, but studio is like a studio art class and seminar is a writing class. And a lot of the projects kind of overlap. And for those, you meet once a week for each class. Then I'm in 3 studios. One is drawing and imaging, which I'm not taking this semester, I'm taking it next semester. And then the other 2 that I'm taking now are space and materiality, which is a 3D design class, as well as time, which is a time-based art class where we do like video and animation and stuff. And then my last class that I have to take is objects as history, which is an art history class. And next semester, my other liberal art, which will switch out from objects as history, is called sustainable systems, and that is an earth science class. And then I get to take an elective next semester, which I'm doing photography. And basically my schedule, the way it works is like Mondays I only have 1 class and it's at 4, and then Tuesdays I have 9 hours of class straight, which sucks. Wednesdays I have 2 classes, 1 in the morning and then 1 in the late afternoon. And then Thursdays and Fridays I only have 1 class and I'm done at like 11.
For RISD, everyone as a freshman has the same classes across the board, other than winter session, which I'll talk briefly about. So at RISD we have 3 main like studio classes, those being spatial dynamics, drawing, and design. And they're kind of self-explanatory. I don't know if I really have to go into them, but spatial works mainly with like 3D things and more actual geometric items, I guess. It really kind of depends on your teachers, what you do in the actual classes, depending on what they teach, what they kind of want to do. And for drawing, I know some teachers are really strict, especially Norm. If you have him, you're going to be going through quite a lot.
You're screwed if you have Norm. Don't take his class.
Yes. Not that you have a choice, but...
Can you add and drop classes?
Oh. Yeah, I have a pretty easy teacher this year, this semester at least, so that's really nice. It really just depends on your teachers. And for design, everyone is kind of doing different things. Personally, I had to do coding, and now we moved on to video and sound editing,
which so
is
fun.
kind of cool, yes. We're currently working with projections, which is really nice. But then there's other people who are making more just like working with gouache and things like that. In terms of liberals, we take English and art history. We have a lecture for art history twice a week, and then we meet in smaller like classes to discuss it once a week. And yeah, English, not my favorite. I'll just leave it at that.
So that is basically everything we're going to be talking about in this video. If you guys are interested in learning more about like the workload and social life, as well as like the kinds of people at each school, definitely watch Stefan's video. It will be linked down below. And if I'm like technically savvy enough, I can like put it over his face and you can click it.
That'd be cool. Click right here.
I don't know how to do that though, so like maybe not. I don't know.
Do it if it is. If not, go down below.
Yeah. Alright, that's everything. Wait, hold on. Hold on.
You gotta do your
spiel.
Okay. Gotta do your spiel.
If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. We are literally growing by the minute. It's so sick. If you're headed to Parsons next year, let me know. If you're headed to RISD next year,
then let me know.
Let him know, unless I convince him to transfer to Parsons, because like it sounds
or
pretty
she's
great,
gonna go
right?
to RISD.
It sounds pretty great, right, guys?
One other thing, RISD also has rats. I didn't mention it, but RISD also has a lot of rats. I didn't personally encounter them. I've had friends who have encountered rats, or at least mice. Yeah, I had to put that in there.
That's everything. We will see you next time. Bye.
Adios.